Okay, we're going to start all over again. This is the July 30th. This is Brad Matheny. I'm sharing my screen on Discord. Come on over and join me. Let's see if we've got anybody over here yet. Not yet. So we'll come over here. I'm screen sharing. Okay, we'll just go back to doing what we do until someone shows up. And again, today's pop pattern should be a pretty good move. So what I was trying to talk about is that we are already above these 382 levels. These are the ultimate 382 levels. Ultimate levels are very, very important. You can see we're above the ultimate 382 level in bullish over here. You can see we're above the ultimate 382 level in bullish over here. You can see we're above the ultimate 382 level over here and above it over here. Why are these ultimate 382 levels so important? It's because we have the ultimate 382 bullish, ultimate 382 bearish, and then we have the middle 50% level. These give you an idea of how price is trending generally. Above the ultimate 382 level is generally very bullish. Below it is generally very bearish. So it gives you an idea of primary trend versus counter trend. Now you can see the new pressure system, and I was going to show everyone this new pressure system. The way it works, and this is the 2 minute, so let's go down to 5 minute. The way the pressure system works is we have these red and green counts, and these are like your speedometer. The larger number, the red and green process. There's KD posting away. So you have these counts, and these are the accumulated pressure volume. And in this regard, what you're seeing with the accumulated pressure volume here is almost like a speedometer. As you give it gas to the downside, this is like your pressure on the gas pedal, then you accumulate larger and larger speed. And the same thing happens here. As we're giving it gas to the upside, we are going to accumulate larger and larger speed. So now we take a look at a 10 minute. I think we had a good example there. Kind of. Here's a good example of shifting directions, giving it pressure on the gas pedal, and we accumulate speed here. So this is really a measurement of accumulated pressure, giving you, let's call it your speedometer. And this is the amount of pressure that's being applied to the gas pedal. So you can see that we shot up here on this gap. We moved up higher over here. Then we started to weaken. So at this point, we were coasting downward, getting weaker and weaker while our accumulated speed continued to gain. What happened there is that, as you can see, when we move into this downward pressure, like you're seeing here on this blue line, in fact, let me alter this, and what you can do is get rid of the individual lines. So as you can see how we've put, pedal to the metal, so to say, in a bullish mode, and then we start to weaken. This is weakened pressure. This is pressure that's diminishing. So you would want to potentially, protect your stop up off these lows when pressure is weakening. Here you can see pressure shot up overnight, really positive, but we had these pullbacks. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to look at these pullbacks. There's your low on that pullback. There's your low on this pullback. And you'd want to use these levels to try to find some support and or protect your trade with a stop level. So these give you an idea of how to measure activity and pressure. Now, in general, I will tell you that if you get outside of, particularly on the SPY, but if you get outside of like a 1.5 range, so let's go here, 1.4 to negative 1.48. So if you get outside this range in pressure, you're getting pretty solid trending. Anything kind of within this range is just choppiness. So you want to remember here, 1.5 to negative 1.5 is, as I'm learning, moderate sideways trending. You can see this is a 10-minute. We haven't had very solid trending. If I scroll back to where we do get very solid trending and drag my box back, you'll see very cleanly during the regular session, when we get solid trending, you're staying outside this range. So here you go. We're outside the range pre-market. We come back into it. We get outside of it. And look at this solid downward trending. Okay, this is really clean downward trending. And we stay in an acceleration phase and then a congestion phase. And this is where we start to get into weaker trending. And this is where we should be looking to take our profits as we get into that weaker trending. And then we re-accelerate back to the downside, and then we weaken into this point, and this is over here where we want to try to start taking our profits. So you had a move basically from here to here, and then you had a move basically from here down to here. Trending is very solid, and that's what we're going to look for potentially today, okay? Now, overnight sessions, a little bit more difficult. You want to try to maybe tighten this up to like 1 and 1, negative 1. But generally, I want you to understand that consolidation is very tough to trade, okay? And what you want to try to do in this mechanism is you want to try to use the Bollinger Band system and the threshold here. You don't want to be chasing trends when they're not solid. So you can see here, had this morning rotation to the downside, rolled back up. That gives you kind of an opportunity essentially from this point here into this point here, not really much of a winner. But then we move into this very solid trending up here, and then we roll into consolidation back over here. So that gives us an opportunity basically from here all the way over to here, being able to get out right in that area. And that's a good solid move from 539.85 up to 545.71. That's about if I'm doing the math right, about a $6 move. Very clean. And this was a counter trend move because we were below the 382 level, moved into a full trend mode right here. You could have reattacked right in this area, gotten a little bit more, and then you see how we rolled down into weaker trending. Again, a counter trend mode at this point, because we're above the 382 ultimate level. And once we move down below this level here, we start to get into a more bearish trend. So again, what I'm trying to teach you is above the 382 level, predominantly bullish. Below the 382 level, the ultimate 382 level, predominantly bearish. And then how to use the trending system here, the Bollinger Band system and the exhaustion system to be able to trade very effectively. What you're looking for is, like I mentioned, this 1.5 to negative 1.5 range on the regular market is generally a pretty normal consolidated type of range. It's when we get out of that range or we get some real pressure. Now I'm going to turn back on the other indicator here, which is it's called BLM Bull Exhaustion. I'll change the name of that, and BLM Chop. So this was designed to be kind of a choppy, non-choppy indicator, and this is really the accumulated pressure phase. So when we add back up the accumulated pressure phase, you can see how we moved into a bearish expansion. This was accelerating the gas pedal. Think of it as gas pedal is being pushed down. We're accelerating, and that's resulting in increased speed to the downside. Then we get the reversal, and we start to accelerate up to the upside. That increases our speed. Then we maintain the gas pedal at an accelerated rate. It continues to increase speed. Then we get the reset. Now, the reset is designed, and I wrote this into the code. I may have to put a switch in the code. But the reset is designed to operate off of these new lows. So it's, again, setting up off of Fibonacci structure. When we rally up and we get to a point where we set up a new low, what happens here, this is basically a pause in trending, and this gives you the ability to potentially reattack at these modes, assuming we get good solid trending. So when I show you this entire trend, yeah, it was from here over to here, but in reality you had this mode up into consolidation, and then you had this mode up into consolidation. You actually had two legs here. Then we moved down into bearish trending here, and you can see we are already above the 382, ultimate 382 levels. The Bollinger Band system has not gone into bearish trending yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this as a counter trend trade. You could go short. You could take the position, but you want to cut your allocation down. When we are above a ultimate 382 level, then you want to look at counter trends as weaker trends. In this case, it played out. We had the downward trend. We got, again, below the range here, the 1.5 range here. So this becomes a good solid entry point. And as you can see, I've already, it looks like I've highlighted some of it. But again, that move down into this area where we get into deceleration and resetting gives us the ability to try to target a sell down into this area and try to get out of it. So ultimately, and again, this is a 10-minute. So when we come back, I'm going to remove all my drawing. We come back and we take a look at the actual setup I have with the 4 charts. You can see here that we have, and I got to move this all the way over. So we had a nice solid rally. You can see the acceleration here. This was your speedometer. Remember, this is your gas pedal pressure, building very strong pressure, and then reset back down here. You can see how we got the exhaustion signals up here. This is telling you to book it, as KD would say. Book your profit. Exhaustion here. If you've got decent profit, book it. Take it. The market doesn't give you long-term opportunities, and you have the ability to reattack if you want. So we're above the 382 level. We rallied up, and then we get the exhaustion. We start to see this rotation downward here. Okay, this is where you need to start realizing this is your take profit range. So if you got into this trade back here off of the acceleration to the upside, off this early morning move, and my SPY cycle pattern, then you should have been able to see that you had a pretty decent move, basically. And of course, I'll have to make this bigger again because I've got the displays over it. But you had a pretty decent move, basically from here to here, 62 cents, and you should have been booking up in this area. This is where the exhaustion system is telling you, hey, start taking profits. Hey, don't be foolish. The market's giving you an exhaustion signal. We don't know. It could go higher or could roll down. But these exhaustion signals are designed to tell you that, hey, if you've got sufficient profit, take some, book it, put it in your bank. That's the whole idea behind these systems, for you to find trend, define trend, and define where to get out. So now you see we're rolling back down. We're getting accelerated downward trend. We're above the ultimate 382 level. This is pretty solid pullback. You can see we are already, and I don't have my box, so I will draw my box again. Remember, you want to stick pretty much between the 1.5 and minus 1.5 area. Right about there. Okay. Where we get into our minus 1.5 area is right here. We're in a downward trend. This is really kind of very close to an entry, I would say, a counter trend entry right in this area. We are in a counter trend. We're still above the ultimate 382. So this would be a very small position. And we are looking for maybe support down in this ultimate 382 level. And we would be watching for exhaustion. So again, this gives you, we have red trending here. which means the pressure system is moving downward. You can see that here. We're accelerating. We've gotten below the minus 1.5 level here, and we are not seeing massive acceleration yet, but we could take this short as we have this counter trend move here, counter trend move here, but we are still bullish on the Bollinger Band system. So understand that this is a counter trend move that is really short. You should be grabbing profits on this fairly quickly. Okay, so let's go back over here to, to here. And you can see where we're at here. We are still holding up on the 30-minute. Multiple greens, accelerating up. We've got into exhaustion. So if we had gotten long, we should have been looking for some exhaustion triggers over here. We have gotten into exhaustion over here. So if we had been long, we wanted to look for exhaustion back over in this area. And you can see here we had exhaustion on the 5-minute pretty much as soon as the market opened. It was pretty high. So we are now resetting. You see how this is reset here? So we come here and draw this. This is now a reset. And this is now in bearish trending. There's our exhaustion to the bearish side. So at this point, you would be booking it. You could try to book some profits here, maybe let a single runner run, but this is your early stage exhaustion. If you have sufficient profits here, book it, okay? You had a move from basically 546.39 down to approximately 546.30. That's a 22 cent, 25 cent downward move, but you're counter trend and you're exhausting. So even if you got 10, 20 bucks off this 2-minute chart, you know, I'm telling you, it's probably a pretty good idea to consider doing what KD does and book it. Take the profit, especially off something 2-minute. You're trading, you don't have any confirmation over here of a downward trend. You don't have any confirmation over here of a downward trend. You don't have any confirmation over here of a downward trend. So this is a very short-term pullback. And again, if you wanted to trade it, that's what these are designed to show you, that it's there. You can see the pullback here in red. You can see the pressure indicator moving downward. This is a counter trend pullback, and it may last a bit longer or it may end, but you're going against the primary trend here. So now the 382 level has moved a little higher here, the ultimate 382 level. This provides us some pretty strong support around 545.70. We still have support here at 545, and we have support here around 544. We are still bullish on the 30-minute. We have bullish, I got to spread this out, but it looks like bullish on the Bollinger Band system. Let me hide this. Yep, bullish on the Bollinger Band system. Bullish on the pressure system, which is this area here. Okay, we just went negative on the pressure system. We do have the exhaustion pattern here. We'll see if this plays out. We've got our second exhaustion trigger here to the downside. So had you been playing this downward 2-minute, you would have now gotten another exhaustion trigger. You have exhaustion here on the daily, still bullish. And you can see here on the 30-minute, we've gone into moderate bearish trending. But that's it. We haven't gotten any rotation on the Bollinger Band system or the pressure system. So we are not yet really looking at a bullish trigger here. We're looking at a pullback. Okay, the 10-minute system just went into fairly strong bearish above the 382 level. This gives us some confirmation that we're getting some continued downward trending. We are now again in exhaustion already. Again, the exhaustion has played out. You see how we're moving down here into exhaustion. The counter trend trade is playing out pretty darn well. You again could have potentially reattacked on this new trigger here. We would have had this existing trade trigger here. We're above the plus 1.5 area, meaning we're accelerating fairly cleanly, getting multiple exhaustion points. So again, this is a take profit area, and this is a take profit area right over here. When you're getting into this counter trend trade, you got to remember that, you know, the trend is still up. The trend is still generally bullish. Even though we have this roll here, the trend is still generally bullish. Above these 382 levels gives us general bullish trending. So you're taking a counter trend trade here, and you want to try to maximize your profit taking by being very quick, like KD does. The way he does it, I mean, I hate to say it, but the way he does it, and it's not a dig if you're watching this, Kurt, but it's real simple. You take 20, and then you take another 20, and then you take another 20, and then you take a couple of 10s, and then you go flat. All right, you made 80 bucks. And then you get into a couple more trades. And you take another 10, and then you take another 20, and then another 20, and then maybe a 25, and then finally you get out at 10. And now you're at $165. Okay, so what he's doing is he's just booking these little 10, 20, 30, 40, $100 profits over and over again, being very quick about it. And what he's able to do is book these types of profits. Then he'll wait for another trade, and he'll do the same thing. He'll get into maybe one or two options, and he'll book 15, and then maybe 20, and then he'll reattack and add another 10, and then another 20, and then maybe reattack again for another 15, and then he's now up to $245 today. Pretty much house money. And that's being very, very quick. So again, that's what I want to try to teach you here, is to use these tools. Now it's going to take some practice. You can see the Bollinger Band system is still very wide and still green on here, this 2-minute. It's still widening up over here and green on this 5-minute. The Bollinger Band system is hidden here, still green over here on the 10-minute, and is, I gotta move this out of the way, is still green over here on the 30-minute. So the whole point behind this is to allow you to see the various timelines. So you see here, we reset, we're rolling up, we've got weaker gas pressure pedal, meaning that we're just coasting right now. We're forming a nice little bottom here. We're still above the 382 ultimate level. We're in moderate downward pressure and exhausting. I would suspect we're going to get a base or a bottom right over here and try to see some upward movement. We'll see how it plays out. We touched the ultimate 382 level here, which is a pretty good sign that we've got a base setting up. Now let me see if I can get rid of all these drawings. And let's go ahead and watch this a little bit. Now, does anybody have any questions? Oh, thanks everybody for joining. That's my other server. Come back over here. And, all right, does anybody have any questions already? New mentions. Yep, there's KD. You see how he's looking at this? 9-10%, and his magic number is 30. I mean, I've seen him take little $5 profits as well, but it adds up. Trust me, when you start adding up these little $7, $10, $15 profits over and over again, they add up. And KD is almost a master at it. Okay, let's go over and check gold. I know I got a lot of people following gold. So 24.50. This is a 10-minute chart. Really need to see this kind of play out here. Let's rescale. Okay. Like something is, oh, the big gap and the averages. So gold is making a huge move, and I called it. If you watched the videos last week, and this was a big pressure sales mode down. I called it the Kamala crush, but I mean, this is a massive reversion, and that's what I'm telling you guys. If we get up into this 24.50 area, right up in this area where this line is, I would tell you that you just call it good. This is a big gap. This is a huge move in gold. This is a huge reversion. It's probably going to struggle to try to find some support over the next day or two before moving higher. It could, I mean, rally. I don't want to say that I know exactly what it's going to do, but after this reversion right up into the 50 and the 618 area, I mean, I can actually draw it for you, but here, we come from this area down to the reversion area, roughly here, and you can see how we've gone up above the 50% level, which is this purple line, and up to the 618 area here. This is a very solid price reversion, very clean. I mean, generally we would want to see it break above the 25 and 382, then expect to move up into this area. This was a huge gap, and this gap is likely going to present some sideways price activity before trying to move a bit higher. So be aware that any upward move in gold is more than likely going to come from extreme pressure today, or you may have to wait until Friday or Saturday or Sunday, meaning you may have to wait 3, 4, 5, 6 days. All right, Adrian, come on in. You may have to wait a little bit, but again, I would tell you if you get up in this 2440, 2442, up in that area again, book your profits. It's a good trade already. Okay, let's come back over here to the SPY. Okay, selling downward. So we got the reattack right here, back into this downward pressure. You can see here the Bollinger Band went bearish. The primary system went bearish. This is counter trend again. You can see the collapse of the bullish trend right now. That's what happens when the trend ends. You'll see that type of collapse. You can see the same type of collapse here. Bearish pressure on Bollinger Band, bearish pressure on the ultimate 382, the collapse. What we would be looking for here is this purple downward trending to take place. You can see it's already happening here. So on the shorter term charts, when it goes purple, this light purple, and you can control this color, but when it goes purple, that's the downward trending taking place. We don't yet have that here or here, but we're getting early warning signs of a fairly strong pullback. Now, I would suggest, again, that, you know, we are going to probably find support in this ultimate 382 level, and probably over in this ultimate 382 level, and in this ultimate 382 level. So be aware that these levels act as primary support. They really do, guys. Okay, so we'll see how it plays out here. And again, you have the reattack mode. You can see when it starts to break down in an already downward trend here. The Bollinger Band changed. You know, you could be reattacking right down in this area. Whoops. That's the problem with Discord. Every time I get a message, it pops up that damn Windows screen. So again, the purpose of this is to show you how it works. 2 minute, we're bearish. Bollinger Band, we've been bearish on the pressure system since way back over here. And we have been bearish on the pressure system, exhaustion system, way back over here. We were bullish through this immediate trend. We moved bearish on the pressure system, really right over here. And we moved bearish on the exhaustion system just 1 bar before. So right over here on the 5 minute, you know, not the clearest signal, but the 2 minute played out and gave us a fairly good early warning signal here. Now, the 10 minute and the 30 minute are just now generating triggers, and we don't really have confirmation yet. We have a downward trend in Bollinger Band. We have a downward trend in the pressure system. And then we do not have a real solid downward trend here in the exhaustion system. So let's see what happens here. We're getting this rotation off of this support. Remember, I highlighted this ultimate 382 level is really going to be your guide, Fibonacci guide for support. So this is in this mode being bullish. This is the 382 level. this is the 50 level, and this is the 618 level. In a bearish trend, this is the 382 level, this is the 50 level, and this is the 618 level. So they're just opposite of one another. And again, if you don't understand Fibonacci, okay, 1 minus 0.382 is almost 618, right? It's close. It's off by just a little bit. So if you take this minus 382, you end up with about 29%. So the idea here is that the 382 levels on the opposite sides essentially give you that equation of where you get confirmation back to the uptrend. So so this becomes resistance as we move in here. Support as we move in here. As we get below it, this level becomes resistance. We stay below it. We're going to look at moving downward through these levels. But ultimately, this is a range that will act as very strong support or resistance for price trend. When we're above it, we're bullish. When we're inside of it, this is where you want to be cautious of price rotation and or price rejection. This is the major support and resistance level. And what we're getting right now is we're getting rejection off of that ultimate 382 level. You can see it here. You can start to see it here. You can definitely see it here. This is major rejection. In fact, watch this. If I come over here to a 10-minute, see that big, I keep drawing dots all over the place. See that big low price rejection right there? That's a beautiful price rejection. That's telling you that price could not hold down in this area. It is rejecting off of this area back above this. Notice that the system keeps changing direction, green. That's going to happen on real-time bars as things change. So again, you could get a, there we go, red, and it could turn back to green as it moves higher. So we want to watch this move here. This is rejecting off of this higher ultimate 382 level. We'll go back to 2-minute and come back into the 4. Drag this over. So the Bollinger Band is still wide. That's because of the expansion of the trending. It's going to stay in this trend until it tightens back up off of this level. We want to watch this upper level come down. It may take another 6 to 10 minutes to do that. We are rotating right above the ultimate 382 level here, well above the ultimate 382, or just a little bit actually above the 382 level, green levels right there. But we're holding very cleanly here, and we're getting some moderate rejection. So understand that after this trending and this rotation, we're getting rejection, we're getting consolidation. We are technically still in that downward pullback trend, so you could be reattacking on the short side, but you want to be very quick about it. So we would be watching for a reattack mode here. That would mean that we'd be looking for some downward acceleration and moving into purple. And let me show you here so you can see. We can come in here and we can change the purple color to red, or whatever color red we want, and we can change this to dark green. And so you can see here, this is downward trending and upward trending. So we're in upward trending right now. And again, you could, because this is green, the 5-minute, is red, and the 382 is red, and we have downward trending here, you could be somewhat aggressive and try to short over here like KD does. This gives you the ability to be aggressive, and I want you to learn to realize these types of trends. We are in a pullback. We are technically pulling downward on the 5-minute and the 2-minute. in a general bullish trend. We're just now getting into bearish trending over here on the 10-minute, and we've got moderate pullback trending here with this light pink color here. So we're in a pullback, and you could aggressively take trades off of this 2-minute or 1-minute chart trying to book profits. What we would be looking for now is a new exhaustion trigger over here. So if you're more of a swing trader, what you would be doing is you'd be using, for example, the 10-minute and maybe the 5-minute to be developing confirmation system and really ignore the 2-minute, because the 2-minute's like trying to follow, you know, I don't know, a kitten. If you're not going to be trying to go for those short-term, you know, 2 to 10-minute trades, and you're really looking more for the 5, 10, 20, 30-minute trades, then you want to stick with more of these systems and wait until we get some really solid confirmation. So 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute. But if you're going to swing like KD does for those 2, 3, 4, 5, 10-minute type swings, then you're going to be wanting to focus over here on the 2-minute, and you're going to want to watch for confirmation off the 5-minute potentially and 10-minute. So again, no confirmation for the downside on the 10-minute. We get moderate confirmation here. We're back into bullish trending. The ultimate 382 level has moved up to this level. So we're in that support level where we could get rejection. Again, the ultimate 382 level has moved over here. You can see how it's moved up. Let me drag this down. Try to show you. So you see here the ultimate 382 level is now up here. So we are technically in bearish trending on this 5-minute chart. We've moved into downward trending here and here. The ultimate 382 level, red level, is right there. Hard to see, but it's right there at 545.84. We're in bearish trending. So we would, on a counter trend trade, meaning going against what we're seeing over here still, and over here, we would be looking at, like I told you, an entry back over here, looking for downward trending, looking for our exhaustion. We're getting exhaustion over here. That's because we're just drifting. But now we want to see some sort of a counter trend downward move and see some sort of exhaustion. Here we go. We're starting to get a little downward move. It's probably going to come right back down into this area here and try to retest those lows. Still bullish overall on the 30-minute, so understand that longer term, the pop trigger could come in and play very strongly today. So be aware that you want to prepare for an almost immediate reversal here. Here we go. Looks like we're getting some upward trend. So at this point, with the moderate downward trending here and the exhaustion over here, I mean, this is in reality, if you have decent profits, 5, 10, 20 bucks, you know, try to book it. Don't be greedy. Try to just look for that opportunity right over here in this area and book it. In fact, if you watch what KD is saying, there it goes, booked. He's booking profits already. And again, the whole point behind what he's doing is to take even a $6 or a $7 profit versus watch it turn into a $30 or $40 loss. So, as he always says, be agile. Just play what is in front of you. If you expected it to go down and it didn't, but it went down enough that you can get out of it with a $6 or $7 or $8 profit on your options like he does, then just book it. Because you're going to have lots of opportunity throughout the day. And remember, we are still bullish here. We're looking at bullish trending here. We're looking at bearish trending here. We're looking at bullish trending here. And we're looking at bullish trending with a reset right here. So, you know, it's not really very clear that this isn't a major downtrend, in my opinion. The only thing that says that we're in a moderate downtrend is this right here. The 5-minute chart is saying we're in a moderate downtrend. We're below the ultimate 382 levels, and we could see this roll a little bit down. as Katie is saying. Look at this. I think there's more. So see, look at some of these trades. IWM profit $10. He's booking that. Booked one of my 20% rules. So he's booking at 8, 10, 20%. Love all these updates. Keep them coming. Looks like Adrian's doing very well. KD booked another one with a 25% profit, $23. Don't be shy booking. Can always go back in. Think there's more, but your call. Dead cat on schedule. Like you gave yourself some time. So see how he's working this? The whole idea is, as I told you, $5, $10, $20 quick little scalps can turn into a 80 to 100% return on investment a day. And here's our rotation. So we got to see how this plays out. We still don't have confirmation here. We're in this channeling range and in this channeling range. So we need some clarity. This is really tight right now. I wouldn't be urging you to take any major trades at this point, just simply because we're bearish, bullish. And again, I can point that out. Bearish Bollinger Band system, bearish Ultimate 382 system, and bullish on the exhaustion system. Let me get rid of some of these drawings. And then we are bearish on the Bollinger Band system, bearish on the Ultimate 382 levels and pressure system, and bearish exhaustion here on the exhaustion system. So again, this is still trying to accelerate to the downside, but we're not getting very good clarity. We are bearish on the Bollinger Band system, bearish on the Ultimate 382, still above the Ultimate 382 and within the Ultimate 382. That means we're struggling for direction here, and we are still bullish on the exhaustion system. So this is mixed, slightly downward. And this is bearish on the Bollinger Band system, slightly bearish on the Ultimate 382, still above the Ultimate 382, meaning we're moderately bullish at this point in a contracting downward trend. So what we would be looking for is support. Long term, we're looking for support. Short term, we are looking for support somewhere in this area, maybe in this area. And short term, we are potentially looking for some sort of a base or pullback to set up, potentially moving us higher. So now you can see how the rotation here, downward, 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 the momentum system has yet to move into a downward trend. It will, okay, it will as it continues to update. We're just not seeing a lot of momentum. That's what this is. This pressure system is kind of like momentum, but I built it so that it mimics the RSI. If you know anything about an RSI indicator, relative strength, measures close-to-close ratios, okay? How far did it move higher? Basically what it does is it sums the close-to-close ratios going back, say, 9 or 10 bars. So it'll sum this ratio as a downtrend. There we go. We just went bearish. So then it'll sum this ratio as bullish because it's higher. Then it'll sum this ratio as bearish. Bullish because it's higher. Then it'll sum this as bearish into this bearish mode here. And then what it does is it takes the bullish divide by the bearish. So if you had a hypothetical, I'll just pick a number. If you had 0.60 bullish and divide by 0.75 bearish, your RSI number would be, and I got to do that, did I do that right? 0.65, 0.7, I think I did that right. And then minus 100, I think. Or minus 1, sorry. So that would be 0.8 minus 1. Yeah, and then we just multiply to get a whole number. So you'd be in the 20% range. Okay, and that's the way that RSI works. It sums the pluses versus the minuses on a close-to-close basis and determines how strong you are. So if you add 0.6 to the up, divide by 0.7 to the down, you'd be 0.85. Somehow I think I'm doing it wrong. So it is a ratio of bullish pressure versus bearish pressure. And okay, so what I get it. So you would take 0.6 plus whatever the opposite number, 0.7, and then you would take 0.6 divide by 1.3. There you go. So it's the sum of the total. So if you had 0.85 to the upside, and then you had plus 0.55 to the downside, you would sum these together to get 1.4 total range. Then you would take 0.85 divide by 1.4, giving you your RSI number of 0.60 times 100 gives you an RSI value of 60. That's how RSI works. So now what I'm doing with my pressure indicator is I'm measuring the unique shape of the candles related to pressure. So what happens is as we get into an uptrend, you get stronger closes. That's what RSI is about. And when you get into weaker trends, you get stronger downward closes. When you get into sideways or weakening trends, you start to get extra wicks at the top or at the bottom. And that's what I'm trying to measure. I'm trying to measure whether or not the shape of the candle changes related to trends. So you can see as we moved into this bearish trending here, we moved into downward trending. We've already got a good solid move. We're moving into bearish, well, still bullish trending here, into bearish trending here and accelerating downward. Very clean move so far, but not so clean right over here. This is big pullback on the 30-minute, looking for some consolidation. And again, I want you to be aware of this so you can use it. But do you have any questions so far? Come back over here. Reattack the cat, playing it. Anybody have any questions? Go ahead and open up your mic and throw out some questions if you want. What will happen for you guys is as you get used to using this and seeing it, the whole purpose of this is to give you a clearer picture of trend and to give you some opportunity to actually book profits like KD does. You know, I've watched him trade for many, many months. And the whole idea here is it's not really my style. Although, who knows, maybe I'll give it a shot. He does really well at it. Start trading like he does for the first 2 or 3 hours of the day and just call it good. But I wanted to give you guys the ability to do this on your own. And so you can, like KD, again, you can come in here, go down to 1 minute, or even, you know, you can go down to 15 second. Wait for this to load. And you can see the systems. Yeah, go ahead.
Morning, George.
Hey, George.
I saw you earlier. You marked the exhaustion system at 1.5 or 1.5 Is there a thought of having like the RSI and somebody with a
no, so
for example, because it's easier to recall like an overbought and oversold line.
yeah, so take a look. And what I'll show you here, this is a 15-second chart, okay? And what you're seeing, look at the scale over here. So this gives you a scale of acceleration in points. This is accumulated points, and this is pressure points. So now remember, they don't look any different because I changed the colors. I'll change them back to like a light purple and a light, and a light blue. So you can see here that when we get into bullish mode, and you see the scope of the trend here, what you want to kind of remember, and the way I'm trying to teach you guys this is the way I look at it. So I'm trying to show you what I see and let you guys come up with your own. So we get into a good solid trend, 70, 80 cents like this point, we can see that this moved up into the 2-3 area. When we get into a moderate trend like we have over here from, and again, I got to clear this thanks to KD's posting, 31 cents, or this one here is really minor, 16 cents, or this one here is very minor in the upside. You can see right here, it's only really 16 cents. What I want you guys to see here is that these little lower peaks below like 1.5 give us and it's going to potentially vary per symbol. You're going to want to look for these lower ranges that say, hey, I'm just not able to identify great trends within this range. So I mean, I might shrink this down a little bit and say, okay, maybe it's on this 1.24 or 1.13 on this 15-second chart. On the 2-minute chart, I think 1.5 is a fairly common range. But the whole idea here is you get these really strong confirmed trends, George, when you're outside of these ranges. When it builds enough momentum in this area or pressure to push outside of this range, then you're going to get some solid trending. Or if it's outside of this range, you're going to get some solid trending. When it's not able to get outside of that range very effectively, this is telling you that you're in a very tight consolidated range. Or like here, we go green and it never really gets above that range and weakens back to the downside. That's one of those ones where, you're not getting that real confirmation that the train has left the station. Does that make sense? So there's a good solid trend.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, good. So here's a good solid trend. Now you'll also notice that, the accumulated acceleration here or here is failing to get above these big levels as well. So remember, we have two separate things here. Oh, keep active, come back.
That's Brad. That's if you can explain the differences between those two, the green and the red and the purple. And the
Sure. So let me come over here.
For me, it looks like a sign would be that if the blue is improving our ascending, and it's just reaching over that green, and obviously we have momentum to the upside.
Okay, let me try to explain it to you. So the red and green line, which I'm going to change the name of, this is what now is called the BLM bull trend, but I'm going to change the name of it. This is like your speedometer. Okay, this is measuring how much accumulated pressure has been built within this trend. So, and again, it measures from a downward cycle trend until it resets off a new high. So that's going to be a measurement here, and once it resets, it'll go back to 0 here and then try to potentially build momentum again. So this is almost like you've run a cycle, and then now we've set up a new high in this case because we're in a downtrend, so it resets. If the trend will continue, it will set up another cycle trend. It'll just continue to trend. This is the accumulated volume or accumulated pressure. It's kind of like a speedometer. And this is the pressure on the gas pedal. So you're going down. That's what red means. It's a bearish trend. You're getting accumulated pressure. And this is the individual pressure value. This is pressures building to the downside, weakening to the downside, weakening to the downside. So this shows you here, spread this apart and give it some range for you. This shows you that we rolled into bearish trending pretty much right there or right there. That's our downward pressure. We've moved into bearish trending and we've gotten this big acceleration to the downside. Now we want to see it start to accelerate to the upside, or the pressure to build. Stronger pressure on the gas pedal going down. That's stronger pressure on the gas pedal going down, meaning we're trying to accelerate downward. And it's going to accumulate downward, or in this case, upward. That's the accumulated pressure in red. It's going to accumulate faster as pressure continues to strengthen. As pressure weakens, it will begin to accumulate slower. So as we move into a fast trend, theoretically, if it were to be extremely fast, you would get a line like this. Most of the time, you're going to see it roll up through early acceleration and then weaken and then potentially come down, like you saw here. Weaken and come down. That means that pressure is subsiding. The speed, your speedometer, you got up to 20 miles an hour, then went to 10, then went to 12, and now you're back down to 6 in a bullish direction. So it's almost like, the way I'm going to explain it to everybody is speedometer versus pressure on the gas pedal. This is your direction, bearish, and it is building strength, building pressure to the downside, weakening pressure to the downside. Again, bullish direction here, building pressure to the upside, weakening pressure to the upside. Does that make sense? Try to find a better example. Again, this is a 15-second chart. Okay, here we go. So here is a downward, so this is aftermarket, so let's skip that. Okay, here's a big solid downward trend. So look at how this works, okay? You get into a downward cycle trend back over here with the Bollinger Band and with the 38 thrust pattern, the 38 ultimate trigger, both being bearish. We move into this outside range. I will draw the box so you can see it. So again, roughly 1 1/4, 1 1/2. I'll go 1.35 to negative 1.35. Roughly there. We're getting into downward trending right here. This is good, solid, explosive downward trending. This gives us the ability to know that we're in a counter trend mode because we're above the ultimate 382 level and we're breaking downward. We're getting good, solid momentum. We had the early trigger here. You could have gotten short right back over here. Notice how the momentum is building. See, the speedometer is building pressure. That's a good sign that we're getting some momentum to the downside. This would be an early trade that KD would probably take. I would urge you to wait until you get some sort of confirmation here and then maybe a pullback, and that gives you an opportunity to maybe take some trades over in here or over in here. Now notice that as we're getting in this pullback, we get into this rotation here. This is a decent enough bullish pullback that we can reattack right over in this area to try to reattack if need be in this bearish trend. We're still bearish at this point, everybody. This is just the pressure has moved back to the upside because we've had enough movement to move us back in that direction. And then notice throughout this trend, we get accelerated trending and then weakening, and then we get the reattack phase. The reattack phase. That gives us the ability to reattack right in this area. So notice we get the exhaustion. We get the exhaustion here, and we get the exhaustion here. So this is basically bearish trend, exhaustion, try to take profits right in this area. Bearish trend, accelerating, this is your speedometer. You're shooting up from, call it 30 miles an hour to 50 miles an hour to 60 miles an hour to 100 to 200, all the way up here to 300 miles an hour. And then all of a sudden you start seeing that, wow, we're accelerating pretty strong. We're getting very big moves. But notice how the exhaustion levels come up and we start to see this kind of a weakening trend. This is where when the exhaustion comes up and trend starts to weaken, you're going to want to try to pull profits, lock in profits over in this area. And then don't chase it until it starts to reattack. This is your reattack mode right here. This reattack mode sets up right in this downward trend, right in that area, and gives you the ability to reattack all the way down into this level of exhaustion for profits. So now when you take a look at this, you know, you've had this initial move. It may not have proved out very successful because it flatlined over here. So that's maybe, I'm trying to draw a line, maybe a couple points profit, a couple points loss. Then you get this secondary reattack phase right over in this area, and that gives you a move of 50 points, potentially a little more down to the downside. Then you get, and this is a 15-second chart, guys. Then you get this reattack mode from here down into this area, another 34, 35-cent profit. This is very quick, aggressive trading. But the idea here is you have the speedometer of accumulated pressure trend, and then this is the actual pressure level. Is it gaining in strength to the downside or weakening? Is it gaining in strength to the upside or weakening? Upside trends will be blue, downside trends will be purple, or whatever color you set up. So does that help a little bit, George?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So now again, I'm trying to share with you again these and it works in any time frame. You go down to 5 second if you want. You'll see here, bullish trending, reattack. Bullish trending, reattack. Moderate bullish trending, build a position. Goes into a little bit of weakening trending here, and then you can reattack. Remember, you've got the Bollinger Band system and you've got the Ultimate 382 system. We're saying green throughout this entire trend. So as we learn to use this with these reattack modes, bearish trending, potential reattack, and then here you move into bullish trending, potential reattack, bearish trending, no real reattack mode, maybe a little bit here. Then we get into bullish trending, we get some rotation, get into bullish trending here, come back up here, reattack, potential. So now when it flips like this, remember, you could get this rotation, but you need to then confirm against these trending systems here, because a pullback may go purple or may go red, but ultimately the idea is to balance out these two systems. Green, green, green means bullish. Green, green, purple means generally bullish, maybe pulling back. So understand that that's really kind of like a pullback until we get some real solid trending here. So again, red, 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 bearish. Red, red, green, it's a pullback. When it goes green here and purple here, so you've got green, red, and purple, neutral. That's neutral. You're basically, you're bearish here, you're bearish here, and you're bullish here. So you want to basically stay neutral. It's a little bit bearish, but look at the pressure indicator. Pressure's moving higher. So, and again, I hope this is making sense, but as pressure is increasing, that's the wrong direction to go short. That's the absolute wrong direction to go short. You want pressure moving down to look for a short trade. Okay, you want pressure moving down to look for a short trade. You want pressure moving down. You want pressure moving down. Same kind of channels. That's where you're going to get the sweet spot for the short trades. Now, obviously, why is this not a short trade? Because it's green plus green. Now, once we got over here to red plus downward trending plus moderate green, yeah, this is a short little pullback. It's only a 10-second pullback, but it's a short little pullback. What you're really looking for is confirmation of the systems playing out. So let me do this. And it's like I said, I hope I am doing you guys justice by sharing this with you. So we come back over here, we look at where we're at. So ideally, guys, what you want to see here is confirmation of trending below or above the 382 level. So this is a 1 minute SPY. We got below the ultimate 382 level. This entire morning has basically been bearish trending. That's what we want to try to trade. We don't want to try to go long simply because that's going counter trend. And if we do go long or try to take a long trade, we need to understand we're going against the predominant market trend. That's what this system, yep.
The 382 level you're identifying is the balloon and red lines?
This level here. So there's the top of the 3/8.
Blue and red.
Yeah, it's green, blue, and red. It's this shaded area. That's the ultimate 382 level. Okay. Above it over here, your predominant trend is bullish. Below it, down over here, your predominant trend is now bearish. Pretty clear, right? Okay. Now we get the pressure trending here is the pressure indicator, and that's these little lines in here. That's these lines in here indicating upward, downward pressure. You see that? And they're fairly quick, and you can modify them, but I haven't modified them yet. So you're going to get this rotation in trending. This is downward trending bearish, predominant downward trending because we're below the ultimate 382 level. And then you get into a moderate bullish and then bullish trending. This would then be a counter trend. We're still bearish, but we're in a bullish pullback. Then we go into moderate bearish trending, this light pink. Then we go into moderate bullish trending over here. We then go into bearish trending, moderate bearish trending, moderate bullish trending, downward bearish trending here, moderate bearish trending. So once we start going red, and the way I like to look at it is 2 reds in a downward cycle trend here is enough for me to determine that we're in a pretty strong downtrend. So 2 reds will be good enough for me to know that I'm looking at a pretty solid downtrend. So, but again, we knew that we're looking at a downtrend because we're below this ultimate 382 level. So again, this whole area should be considered bearish. All of this, predominantly bearish. Pretty much starting from right there. Predominantly bearish. The opportunity here is to take short trades, not long trades. That's what this is telling us. Now, we come in here and we turn on the Bollinger Band system and hide the pressure system. You can see that the Bollinger Band system went bearish right here. So that means that we now have confirmation right here that we can semi-aggressively attack any downward trending. Okay, and we can try to take profits as cleanly and as effectively as possible. So now at that point, we have confirmation that we went bearish here on the 382 level and went bearish here on the Bollinger Band system. 2 separate trending systems are now in alignment. When they are not in alignment, think of them as neutral. So if the 382 level system and the Fibonacci system, it does not align with this, then just consider it neutral. You probably don't want to trade until you get in that mode. Now, once you get in this mode, you can start looking for these types of rotations, and I'm going to show you. So we're in a predominant downward trend. This is a predominant downward trend right here. When it goes green and starts to roll in the opposite direction, that is a pullback. And that gives you an opportunity to wait for the roll and the potential downward trend. When we go green in a downward trend, that is our pullback. That gives you the opportunity to try to catch a nice entry in this trend. And again, when we go green, you're in a moderate pullback, and you're going to potentially be able to catch a nice breakdown. When we go green over here, you're in a moderate pullback, and you may be able to catch a nice downward trend. So the idea is for you guys to learn to make better decisions using these tools and seeing kind of what I'm seeing. So now the exhaustion patterns here give you ideas where, hey, this is the area where you want to start really becoming a profit monster. Take profits, pull your profits. Same thing here. If you had gotten into this trend, basically anything from here on down was all basically telling you to take profits. Pull your profits out. So if you had gotten into some pretty good trades over here, and you even came down a little bit over here, this is where you want to start booking like KD does. And remember, this is a 1-minute chart. So this is really going to be very quick trading. but it applies to anything. I can take this and go back to 10-minute. So real quickly, 10-minute is bearish. Very cleanly, we have a nice clean trigger here. So I'll mark this here as our bearish trigger. Let's mark it right here. This is really our bearish trigger. And then we come over here and turn on the system, the Fibonacci pressure system, and it went into bearish mode 1 bar earlier right here. So we basically get confirmation of a bearish trend right here. We are in the middle of the downward cycle trend, so we can be neutral. This means that we should not be aggressively bearish. Why? Because we're in the middle of the ultimate 382 channel. This could have turned into support. It could have rolled around. We don't want to be overly aggressive in this. Now, did we have any downward trending in the pressure system? No. We did not have any downward pressure system trending yet. We did eventually back over here. Okay, so what's happening in this downward pressure system is it didn't react quickly enough through this rotation to give us any real downward trending. Okay, that's why we don't have any purple here. But what we did have is downward cycling. So this gave us an opportunity to know that this bullish trend potentially was weakening. So we could have taken potentially a couple, 1 or 2 trades into this manner off of this confirmation. Remember, we had the confirmation of the Bollinger Band, we had the confirmation of the Fibonacci pressure system, and we did not have any growing pressure. Upward trend is going to be designated by growing upward pressure. Let me show you. It's going to be designated by growing upward pressure. Downward trending is going to be designated by downward pressure. Consolidation is going to be designated by sideways trending. So this is downward trending. This is sideways. This is upward trending. And this is downward trending. The pressure indicator is really a measurement of how much bullish or bearish pressure is being exerted on price. Now, the coloring mechanism and the trending mechanism is something that, because this is internal logic, trying to determine when the trending system is supposed to be red or green or purple or blue. And again, the source code is back here. I don't think I have any source. Yep.
Right, that was my question. The difference between those two descending lines, one's purple, one's blue. What's that telling you?
That's telling you that the trend system that I built has not caught this as a downward trend yet. So I'm going to go take a look at this and figure out why it has not caught this as a downward trend yet. Because this, again, is brand new. I just built all of this last week. And this potentially could be an error in the logic, or it could be an error in how I'm doing it. But generally, this, in my opinion, George, this should have turned purple right over in this area.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to release anything that's buggy to you guys, but I'm trying to show you again, if you just can follow the lines, I'm doing it the hard way. If you could just follow the lines in the direction, downward trending is bearish, upward trending is bullish, downward trending bearish, sideways trending neutral, not really having any trend, and again, downward trending is bearish. So you can see as we come back in here, I'll go back to the 2-minute, we'll go take a look at the data. So again, upward trending, bullish. Upward trending slightly, getting into some bullish trending. A rotation here, upward trending. See how it's changed direction? This is, again, the same 10-minute. This is showing the same error that George pointed out. And again, the longer-term charts are slower to react. So And then here we have this downward, moderate, downward trending. But you can see how we're still maintaining support above this 382 level, the ultimate 382, where we've gotten below it here. So we've had a nice little flush out. The pop trigger is still valid. We've had almost really no movement compared to the last couple of days. This is a 30-minute chart, and you can see it's been just completely flat so far this morning. But ultimately, I'd like these tools to be able to help you guys learn to use, to make better decisions. So when you ask me, are we doing this, or what is it, bullish or bearish, I want you guys to be able to do it. And this is kind of how I do it. I do create, it's called a voting system, okay, or essentially a multi strategy tally. And it gives you the ability to see different components in, and where's my, there it is, 32, highlight everything. So on a multi-strategy tally, what happens is we essentially use multiple systems to determine opportunities. Tally system results to determine allocation. And then lastly, trade when efficient. So the whole idea behind this, and this is, a lot of systems do this, guys. There will be multiple indicators, multiple strategies. In fact, you know, I'll come over here and show you the ultimate system here. This is called this is the MES system. This is what is called my killer MNQ system running back down here. This is running in a demo account. We're getting it set up. It has multiple feeders running over here. When they're all in a short mode, we will then take a trade. And we will then take the most efficient trade when all of them are in alignment. When they're not in alignment, we do not take the trade. And you can see, here we are, we're in a short trade, we're running downward, we got 36 bucks profit in the trade. This is a very common setup to have multiple systems in alignment before you take a trade. And so here we've moved into bearish trending on Bollinger Bands, bearish trending on the below the ultimate 382 level, and bearish trending on the pressure system. And then we would come in here and look for triggers. And triggers would occur, as I mentioned, in any type of downward trending or through a reset leading into downward trending. So right now, we just had a reset leading into potential downward trending here if we get confirmation on this 2-minute. We are in solid downward trending here, so we're still in a fairly solid downward trend here, and we can see here that we do not have confirmation here and or here. We're moving up. So until we get some real breakdown, we're not going to be overly aggressive in this mode yet. But do you guys understand what I'm trying to show you? Okay, I will take that as a yes. We have been at this for a little over an hour. Go ahead.
I was just acknowledging your request.
Yeah, no problem. There's a little delay, and this is going to take some time for everybody to learn. And maybe there's some more improvements that I need to make in this. Like I said, I need to figure out why this didn't roll. I'm going to go take a look at that right now. I mean, PineScript is not overly difficult. Here's the exhaustion system. Not overly difficult. Okay, but here's the coloring systems, the coloring control, and I need to figure out what's going on with the coloring control. So I'm going to work on that next. But PineScript is not all that difficult. It's just a matter of learning how to get it to do what you want to do without throwing an error. And again, I can write in almost any language. I've been writing in COBOL, Fortran, BASIC, Assembly, C, Pascal, JavaScript, TradeStation, NinjaTrader, and now PineScript over the last couple of years. It's just I don't focus on one. I focus mostly on eSignal, which is this. This is eSignal running. And the script for this is right here. So you can see here, there's the signal code. This is an automated system, fully automated, and 2,800 lines of code. And I've got thousands of these. Go ahead.
Talking about code. So are you able to, for those that may not have TradingView, that there's so many different platforms out there, and some that obviously use different script. Is this something you can offer, I guess, a link in
into other platforms?
Code? Yes.
Yeah, well, once we get it settled, so initially the way this works, guys, is I take and build the best solutions that I can as quickly as I can. And then I release them to you guys as cleanly as possible. Then you guys, I hate to say it, become the initial beta testers. So what happens at that point is I'm trying to provide you something as part of your subscription to MENT.com to help you become better traders. And that's my ultimate goal. If we find that I need to improve something or change logic or whatever, my goal is then to go ahead and you know, make it as robust as possible so everybody can take advantage of it. Once they become somewhat stable, where, you know, I would assume it would be maybe 30, 60 days of everybody giving me your feedback and letting me know what you see and how it works. You know, you can see it's, you know, it's playing out. I look at this and I can see these little rotations to me as here's an opportunity to try to get short again. All I need to do is see some downward trending and see the pressure move down. But again, my view is not your view, and I want to see what you guys see, and I want you guys to provide the feedback to me because I look at these things from my perspective. I want you guys to see it and tell me what you want, you know, what would make it better. But again, yes, once we have it fairly stabilized, George, where everybody seems to comfortable with it and we can use it effectively and it seems clean, then yeah, I mean, I can convert it into pretty much any other platform that offers some sort of a scripting system. Now there are, like I said, certain issues. I do want to keep this only for MENT.com subscribers. So right now, TradingView offers a feature, in fact, it's right here, offers a type of subscription where I can publish a script as invite only, and I can make it only those people that I want or that I allow access to the script. So I'm trying not to give away something that is supposed to be members only to the entire world. I mean, I want you guys to support me in my research, which you do with my low-cost subscriptions. But again, at the same point in time, what good does it do if I make something that then becomes publicly available to the world and everybody has it and nobody can really turn around and go, oh, well, Brad created this. I mean, there are benefits to giving it away publicly, to helping as many traders as possible. But then, you know, the real reality is reward those that are my subscribers and not every Joe Blow who wants to just follow what I do.
Understood. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So let me go work on this coloring mechanism here and see what I can do to control this a little bit better. This is all controlled via an anchor bar rotation, so I can see what happened here. We had deeper lows, we had downward trending, but and I can almost see what is needed to do to fix this is that when we have 2 or 3 downward bars in a row, and when the pressure system gets below 0 or what some minimum threshold, theoretically, this should have turned into purple instead of waiting for an anchor bar. The very first anchor bar we had was right here. That's why this turned it, on this bar, turned it purple. So it's just a logical control, guys. I got to fix it. Okay. I think what we're going to do is wrap it up. I think I've been recording for a little over an hour here, and I'll try to get this fixed for everybody. Yeah, look at this selling pressure. Boy, this selling pressure is going to... Yeah, it's coming right down into... And this is really, look at this. I mean, this goes all the way back to the 26th and the 27th of finding support. So we're going all the way back here, running right into this support channel, seeing what the market's going to do here. I haven't paid attention to any news, so did some news hit? Let's come into here. Housing data. Yeah, housing data missed. Housing price index came in at 0. Yeah, real estate's going to start getting a little wonky. HPI composite 6. Consumer confidence 100. Jolts job opening. Really nothing other than real estate. This is a pretty big miss for real estate. 6.5 to 5.7, and then housing price index month over month. Not huge, but the data has been moving higher, so nobody wants to see house prices come down. But we're not getting a huge miss. Like I said, this is really starting to break down pretty hard, but it's not a huge miss. So let's see how this plays out. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up from here and get back to you guys in a minute once I alter this code. Talk to you later.